Math you can manage.
Today's lesson is the GOAT. Greatest of all time? Almost. Greatest common factor. Standard 6.NS.4. Reminder from the last video. Factors are the two numbers being multiplied together to get your product. If you don't feel like you can manage this yet, please go back and watch the previous video about factors. Finding the greatest common factor is when you find factors for two or more different numbers and see what they have in common, just like the title says. Hear me out. Let's slow down and take it step by step. Find the greatest common factor, often shortened to GCF, of 15 and 24. First, just use your favorite strategy to find and list the factors of 15. I'll be listing them in pairs. What can I multiply together to get the result of 15? Well, 1 times 15 equals 15, and 3 times 5 also equals 15. That's all the factors. If you can't find those in your memory bank, double check that multiplication chart. Okay, same process for 24. 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. They each have their pair. Now that I've got my lists, the next step is pretty easy. I want to identify the factors that they have in common. The ones that are the same. In this case, the only factors I see that are the same are 1 and 3. Out of those factors, which one is the greatest or the biggest? Yes, that was easy to spot, right? 3 would be the GCF, or the greatest common factor, of 15 and 24. It's time to do one together. Grab a piece of paper and pencil to try the next one. I promise you won't regret practicing. The more you practice on paper, the sooner this may become a mental math skill for you. This time, we need to find the greatest common factor of 18 and 30. I'll list the first ones for you. Now pause the video and fill in the rest of the factors in your lists. Double check your lists. How did you do? Pause the video again to compare your two lists and circle all the factors that show up in both of the lists, the common factors. I found 1, 2, 3, and 6 to all be in common. Out of those, the one I care about the most is the greatest one. 6. You did it. You found the greatest common factor. Let's pause and think about this with some tangible objects. In the last video, we showed that factors can also be considered the numbers that divide the total evenly. So let's expand on that thought. Like our last example, let's look at the factors of 18 and 30. Let's say I have 18 light bulbs, but my friend has 30 light bulbs. How could we arrange our light bulbs in the same size groups? For example, we could put them in pairs, right? That works out evenly for both of us. We could even do groups of 3. But there's a larger size group we could both make. We can each put our light bulbs in groups of 6. That's the greatest common factor of these groups. Let's do one more together just to make sure we've got it. Find the GCF of 12 and 20. Remember, you can use any strategy that works for you. Use your memorized math facts, divide the objects into equal groups, or use a multiplication chart. Now pause the video to make your lists using your favorite strategy. Do your lists match mine? One thing to note is the common factor of 1 is not very exciting because every single number has a factor of 1, right? So what common factors do you find that are more than 1. Looking at my lists, I see the common factors of 2 and 4. So the GCF of 12 and 20 is 4. Here's one to try on your own. Find the GCF of 18 and 30. Pause the video to work this out on paper. Now check your work. Fantastic. You got it right. You know how to find the greatest common factor. If you still aren't feeling like you can manage, rewatch the video or reach out to help from your parent or teacher. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Have a great day.